Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome to the GMB channel. Hope you will enjoy our video. Before we begin, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Here is the news title. Brexit Stalwart's new project will have Labour and Tories running scared. There's been much talk of reforming Britain, but some people are actually acting instead of mouthing platitudes. British politics is at a crossroads. The political class has become detached, disinterested, and disturbingly out of touch with the concerns of the people they claim to represent. Decades of empty promises and feeble governance have left a gaping chasm between the ruling elite and the electorate. Enter the Great British Political Action Committee, PAC, an idea whose time has come. For years, Britain has lagged behind when it comes to harnessing the raw energy of grassroots movements. There exists a dire need for an independent force to ensure that the political establishment is held to account, a force capable of steering Britain back towards being the proud, sovereign, and prosperous nation it should be. In the United States, PACs have long played a pivotal role in shaping the political landscape. They are not beholden to party structures, nor are they constrained by the political infighting that so often paralyzes Westminster. Instead, they provide a powerful means of ensuring that policies reflect the will of the people rather than the whims of career politicians. The Great British PAC aims to do just that, establish itself as the driving force behind a much-needed political recalibration. For too long, the public has been forced to endure a governing class that seems more preoccupied with globalist virtue signaling than addressing the pressing concerns of the people. Whether it be the failure to control immigration, the neglect of national industry, or the betrayal of Brexit, the political elite has made it abundantly clear that they serve themselves, not the electorate. The Great British PAC has the potential to shatter this cycle of incompetence and betrayal. Ben Habib, a man who has never shied away from political confrontation, is championing this new initiative alongside Claire Bullivant. While his past has not been without controversy, one cannot deny his tenacity and clarity of vision. Unlike the political elites who tiptoe around issues for fear of upsetting the BBC or The Guardian, Habib speaks plainly and directly, qualities desperately needed in today's political climate. He understands that British politics is undergoing a radical transformation. The traditional party system is crumbling under the weight of its own failure, and the Great British PAC can serve as the much-needed vehicle for ensuring that those in power do not continue to let the country down. One of the most exciting aspects of this PAC is its ambition to hold politicians accountable in a way that the mainstream media and establishment refuse to do. It promises to use tactics such as media rebuttal, lawfare, and whistleblower depository units, tools designed to expose hypocrisy and ensure that political leaders cannot operate with impunity. Moreover, the PAC will actively encourage public participation, allowing members of the public to suggest and vote on policy ideas. This is precisely the kind of direct engagement that the UK political system has been sorely lacking, and it has the potential to ensure that the priorities of the people remain at the forefront of national debate. As Britain moves through this transformative period, the Great British PAC offers a glimmer of hope. It represents a movement that refuses to accept the status quo and demands real, tangible change. This is not about more politicians spouting tired rhetoric. This is about a genuine movement that forces those in power to serve the interests of Britain and its people first. Whether it unites the right or simply shakes up a stagnant political system, one thing is clear. The Great British PAC is an idea whose time has come. The only question now is, will the British people seize this moment and demand the political accountability they deserve? The opportunity is here, and the future is in their hands. The Great British Political Action Committee, PAC, marks a turning point in the UK's political landscape, offering a much-needed challenge to the traditional parties that have long failed the electorate. This initiative, spearheaded by Brexit stalwart Ben Habib and journalist Claire Bullivant, aims to disrupt the complacency of both Labour and the Conservatives by galvanizing grassroots activism and forcing politicians to answer for their failures. For decades, British politics has been dominated by an out-of-touch elite more concerned with maintaining power than delivering meaningful change. The political class has mastered the art of deflection, offering empty slogans and vague promises, while failing to address the concerns of the people they claim to serve. This disconnect has only deepened in recent years, with the failure to fully capitalize on Brexit, rising immigration numbers, economic stagnation, and a national identity crisis contributing to a growing disillusionment among voters. Unlike traditional parties, the Great British PSE seeks to bypass the bureaucratic and ideological constraints that often stifle political progress. Taking inspiration from the American model, this PAC is designed to mobilize grassroots energy and focus it on holding politicians accountable, ensuring that they prioritize national interests over globalist pressures. Through media rebuttals, legal challenges, and investigative journalism, the PAC aims to expose hypocrisy and force real political accountability. The case for political disruption. The growing dissatisfaction with the Conservative and Labour parties is no secret. Both have failed to capitalize on the opportunities presented by Brexit, opting instead for managerial politics that ignore the concerns of ordinary Britons. While the Conservatives struggle with internal divisions and a lack of clear leadership, Labour remains trapped in ideological battles that fail to resonate with working-class voters. This stagnation has created an opening for a new force in British politics, one that is not afraid to challenge the establishment and demand real change. The Great British PAC promises to be that force. By acting as a watchdog and mobilizing grassroots activism, it seeks to empower ordinary citizens and disrupt the status quo. Rather than waiting for the next election cycle to roll around, this PAC will exert continuous pressure on politicians, ensuring that they cannot ignore the demands of the public. A clear set of objectives. The Great British PAC is not just another pressure group. It has a clear and strategic set of objectives designed to bring about tangible political change. Some of its key aims include holding politicians accountable. Through media rebuttals, legal challenges, and investigative reporting, the PAC will expose hypocrisy and force politicians to answer for their failures. Immigration reform. The PAC will push for stricter immigration controls, ensuring that the government prioritizes national security and economic stability over ideological agendas. Economic nationalism. By advocating for policies that protect and promote British industry, the PAC seeks to revitalize domestic manufacturing and reduce dependency on foreign markets. Brexit integrity. Ensuring that the UK fully capitalizes on its independence by cutting unnecessary ties with the EU and focusing on domestic prosperity. Public participation. Unlike traditional parties that dictate policy from the top down, the PAC will actively encourage public input, allowing citizens to suggest and vote on policy initiatives. A direct challenge to the political elite. One of the most significant aspects of the Great British PAC is its ability to directly challenge the ruling elite without being constrained by party politics. The Conservative and Labour parties have long relied on voter apathy and a lack of viable alternatives to maintain their grip on power. However, the emergence of a well-organized, well-funded, and highly motivated PSE could change that equation entirely. This initiative is likely to send shockwaves through Westminster, as it represents a serious threat to the established order. By leveraging modern campaigning techniques, social media engagement, and strategic legal challenges, the PAC has the potential to redefine how political movements operate in the UK. It will also provide a platform for those who feel politically homeless, individuals who have lost faith in the traditional parties, but still believe in Britain's potential. The power of grassroots movements, one of the key lessons from recent political upheavals, both in the UK and abroad, is the power of grassroots movements. Whether it be Brexit, the rise of Nigel Farage's Reform UK, or the populist wave in the United States, one thing is clear. When ordinary citizens come together with a shared purpose, they can achieve extraordinary results. Reeves's budget move branded absolute insult to working people. Chancellor has come under constant fire from farmers over her controversial October budget. A fourth-generation farmer has branded Rachel Reeves's budget an insult to working people. Michael Dart, who runs Dart's farm in Exeter, Devon, with his 2 brothers, spoke of the toll of national insurance and minimum wage hikes, alongside cuts to business rate relief. These are on top of agricultural and business property relief changes and inflation. Mr. Dart, whose family's history as freehold farmers goes back to the year 1600, said, "The worst part of all of this is that anyone who knows our business normally says to us brothers, 'You work too hard.' We're certainly described as workers." When Rachel Reeves said the budget wouldn't impact working people, I think it was an insult to hard-working employers not to be described as a working person. It's an absolute insult. The sad thing is that even if she thinks employers aren't working people, which I think most employers would find impossible to believe, this budget has really hit working people. All the 400 people who work with us in our team are certainly working people, and this budget will harm them. It will lead to job cuts and reduced pay rises because it won't be affordable. It will hit the very people she said she wanted to help. Why do they make stupid promises that then leave them in a corner? Why they did that is stupidity. It worries me more than that because it tells me it's deliberate. A lot of people would be very concerned if so. Or, I don't understand the damage it's doing, which is equally concerning because she's Chancellor of the Exchequer. It's no. 10 and no 11. They are in this together. We all want a good public sector, but the cost of that to the country has to be paid for by the private sector. And if we don't have a strong, vibrant private sector, then we won't have good public services. The family's award-winning farm shop sells produce such as vegetables, salad, and potatoes. It includes a butchery, cheesemongers, bakery, florist, and a food hall with teas, coffees, and olive oils from high-quality artisan producers. The family also has a ruby red Devon beef herd and rotational crops of grasses and cereals. Mr. Dart said there isn't really an obvious way to automate, which makes them dependent on manual labor. The Chancellor announced a 40% relief on business rates for the retail, hospitality, and leisure industry in 2025 to 26, up to a cap of $110,000 per business. Retail properties have enjoyed business rates relief since 2020 and are currently benefiting from a 75% discount capped at $110,000 per business. This is due to expire in April 2025. The autumn budget announced increases to the national minimum wage that will take effect from April 1st. The Chancellor also announced that from April 2026, combined agricultural and business property assets up to $1 million will still receive 100% inheritance tax relief, but anything above that will be slapped with an effective rate of 20%. The Daily Express has demanded a U-turn with its Save Britons Family Farms crusade. Mr. Dart said the farm is a hub for the community, providing a safe space for vulnerable people to come together. He added, "This budget, for a lot of businesses, feels like they're trying to put us out of business. When they tell you it's a budget for growth, it makes you wonder whether they understand the economy. She doesn't appear to understand the sector-by-sector impact. If she was going to be fair, she would have measures in place to help mitigate the impact for sectors that are very reliant on a lot of employees. We've never had to do that, make redundancies. The sad thing is, going forward, hire fewer younger people or people they've given a chance to." A government spokeswoman said, "Our commitment to farmers remains steadfast. This government will invest $5 billion into farming over the next 2 years, the largest budget for sustainable food production in our country's history. We are going further with reforms to boost profits for farmers by backing British produce and reforming planning rules on farms to support food production. Our reform to agricultural and business property reliefs will mean farmers will pay a reduced inheritance tax rate of 20%, rather than the standard 40% for other businesses, and payments can be spread over 10 years, interest-free. This is a fair and balanced approach, which fixes the public services we all rely on, affecting around 500 estates a year." So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment below. If you like my video, please press like button and subscribe for more. Hope I'll see you in next video.